I'm your host, and I've got to say, I am really excited to get into today's topic with you.
And I'm your resident analyst, and yeah, I am completely ready for this one.
You know, we spend a lot of time on this show looking at strategy, analyzing battles, trying to understand the mechanics of how power works in various worlds. But every once in a while, you encounter a scenario that forces you to throw all those established rules right out the window.
Absolutely.
And that is exactly what we have for you today. We are unpacking a highly detailed breakdown of a massive multi-front conflict.
Specifically, we're looking at the events of Chapter 1176.
Right. And our mission here is to explore the sheer scale of this battlefield. We really want to focus on two central themes today.
Yeah, the terrifying limits of artificial immortality and the necessary evolution of Conqueror's Heiseki.
Because we are looking at giant warriors forced to destroy themselves, regenerative powers that completely defy the laws of biology. It really is. It's a situation where physical strength simply ceases to matter.
So, okay, let's unpack this, because to really understand the gravity of this conflict, we have to start at the Elbow Center.
Yeah, we have to look at the grim reality facing two living legends of the giant race.
Doi and Bragi.
It is just a profoundly tragic situation to step into. I mean, we aren't just looking at two powerful combatants crossing weapons here.
No, not at all.
These are the leaders of the giant pirates. They are revered figures in their homeland of Elbaf.
And that's a culture that places the highest possible value on warrior pride, right? Honorable combat.
Exactly. And they have been reduced to mindless killing machines.
It's heartbreaking.
But the true horror of the situation is that they're being forced to fight each other.
Yeah.
If you are sitting there trying to calculate the tactical fallout of this, it's catastrophic.
Oh, for sure. Because if these two aren't stopped, their raw destructive power will act like a scythe.
Just carving right through their own allies.
Their homeland.
And the puppet master behind all of this is Emu, utilizing that dark energy known as Domidavashi.
Yeah, the Domidavashi energy.
When you look at the mechanics of how this energy operates, it completely changes the stakes of the battle. Because this isn't your standard hypnosis.
No, it's not simple mind control either.
It places the victim in a forced, entirely unnatural state of being. So think about it. If you're trapped inside your own regenerating body, watching yourself destroy everything you love.
How do you even begin to fight back?
Exactly. Against a puppet master you can't even reach.
What's fascinating here is the philosophical weight of this specific type of power.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the Domidavashi energy is essentially a nightmare. We often think of immortality or rapid healing as a supreme advantage in combat.
Sure, you'd think it's a massive buff.
Right, but here it isn't a gift at all. It grants this forced immortality that continuously and rapidly repairs even the most fatal of wounds.
Which sounds good on paper, but
from a philosophical standpoint, think about what that strips away from a warrior of Elbaf.
their honor.
It takes away their ultimate freedom, the right to die an honorable death.
Wow, yeah.
By removing that choice, this energy traps their souls in an endless, inescapable loop of violence. They are prisoners.
Fully aware, but locked inside physical forms that just refuse to shut down.
Exactly.
Which makes their eventual counter-strategy so visceral.
It really does.
They realize they cannot fight the mental dominance of the Domidavashi energy directly. The chains on their minds are just too strong.
So they have to pivot.
Right, they opt for a brutally logical, albeit horrifying, alternative. They decide to self-destruct to be free.
It is an exercise in extreme physical economics.
Say more about that.
Well, they deduce that the Domidavashi energy, no matter how potent it is, requires a functional physical host to operate and cause destruction.
Okay.
So instead of trying to break the mental hold, they attack the physical foundation that the energy relies on.
By dealing catastrophic damage to each other's vital weak points.
Yes, they are intentionally trying to crush their own bodies.
Just imagine the sheer willpower it takes to coordinate your own mutual destruction.
It's incredible.
By doing this, they force the Domidavashi energy into a corner. It has a finite pool of resources, right?
Exactly. By inflicting this massive physical trauma, they force the energy to make a choice.
Maintain the mind control or keep the host bodies from dying.
It has to divert all of its power away from suppressing their willpower, redirecting it entirely into physical repair.
And you can actually see this economic shift happening visually, which I love.
The visual storytelling there is amazing.
The physical markers of Imu's control are incredibly striking. When the giants are fully under the influence, their bodies corrupt.
Yeah, the deformed horns growing from their heads.
And those massive black wings sprouting from their backs.
It is a literal physical manifestation of their loss of autonomy.
But as their self-destruction strategy forces the energy to abandon their minds and focus on their failing organs.
Yeah, their crushed bones.
Right, the corruption reverses. The deformed horns physically crack and crumble.
Those black wings dissolve and turn to ash.
And the very second that happens, the moment their consciousness and free will return to them, their bodies just completely give out,
They collapse under the accumulated weight of the trauma they just inflicted on themselves.
which creates an immediate, desperate crisis on the battlefield.
Oh, absolutely. The chains of Emu are broken, yes. But Dory and Bragi instantly flatline into critical condition,
They essentially had to kill themselves to win back their minds.
which triggers a frantic race against time for the medical team,
You have figures like Hajrudin and Girth rushing into the center of a war zone.
trying to salvage the lives of their captains.
It is a stark reminder that breaking free from that kind of conceptual trap comes at an ultimate physical cost.
It really does.
But while Dory and Bragi are breaking their own bodies to escape an endless loop, the rest of the crew down in Elbath village is trapped in an endless loop of their own.
Yeah, we have to shift our focus there.
Because the battlefield requires a completely different tactical mindset. We are moving from the impossible wall of unkillable allies to the impossible wall of an endless horde.
The village is just being completely overrun by an army of swamp monsters.
It's chaos.
It presents a classic crowd control dilemma, but scaled up to a point where standard tactics begin to buckle.
Right.
But you can study the strategic teamwork of the Straw Hat crew here as a masterclass in establishing a defensive perimeter,
Oh, for sure. Nami is utilizing her weather-manipulating staff, the Tenko bow.
generating massive area of effect lightning strikes.
She is acting as the primary deterrent, continuously shocking and pushing back the front lines of the horde,
And while Nami is managing the perimeter, Robin is controlling the spatial flow of the battlefield,
sprouting countless arms across the terrain.
physically locking down and restricting the enemy's movement so they can't overwhelm the group's position,
Then you have Jinbe right in the thick of it, relying on his fisherman karate.
which is such a smart matchup.
It really is. Because these are swamp monsters. Their physical structure is primarily liquid.
And Jinbe's martial arts are specifically designed to manipulate water.
So he isn't just punching them, he is literally shattering their physical forms with every strike.
You might look at that and think it's a perfect defensive formation.
Because it is.
It is. But the problem with fighting an endless army is that a perfect defense is still a losing strategy.
Yeah, you cannot win a war of attrition against a force that doesn't deplete.
Exactly. And this is where Sanji's tactical awareness changes the game.
He reads the flow of the battle and realizes that engaging the monsters is just a complete waste of stamina.
The only way to survive an endless horde is to cut off the source.
No, we've all had days that feel like an endless horde of swamp monsters coming at us.
Too many days like that.
But Sanji, literally tracking down the guy playing the flute, is next level problem solving.
He breaks away from the defensive line.
Locates a holy knight named Kiringa, who is hidden underground, summoning these beasts with the flute.
But getting to the source and eliminating it are two very different things.
Right, because Sanji immediately gets surrounded. He is completely outnumbered
It's shot off from the main group,
and about to be swallowed by this mob.
which sets up a beautiful moment of battlefield synergy.
Oh, I love this part.
Just as Sanji is about to be overwhelmed, Jinbe intervenes.
He unleashes a massive localized water current that sweeps the entire mob away from Sanji.
Completely clearing his immediate perimeter.
The trust in that moment is incredible. Jimmy just looks at Sanji and says, "I'll handle this. You take him down."
It's a perfect division of labor.
Jinbe knows his role is crowd control, and he trusts Sanji to act as the scalpel to take out the high-value target.
That intervention is crucial because it frees Sanji to trigger his ultimate technique,
That intense blue-flamed Ifrik Jambe.
setting up a pure one-on-one showdown with Kiringa.
But this is where the dynamic of the entire war shifts violently.
Yeah, it does.
Engaging the Holy Knights introduces a problem that pure physical strength, no matter how intense the flames or how sharp the swords, simply cannot solve.
It's a whole new tier of combat.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because the reality of fighting these Holy Knights, Kiringa and Summers, is terrifying.
Beyond terrifying.
We are moving past strong attacks, past elemental damage, and into the realm of things that completely defy biology.
We have to redefine what we mean when we say an enemy is healing here.
Right.
Because the regeneration displayed by the Holy Knights isn't biological.
It is not a process of cells rapidly dividing to repair damaged tissue.
No, it is a phenomenon referred to as time cover.
They are not healing their bodies.
They are rewinding time on their own physical forms.
Imagine you are in this fight. You've trained your entire life. You know exactly how much force it takes to break a body.
Yeah.
You have Luffy and the giant Loki teaming up against Summers.
Two absolute powerhouses.
They hit him with such overwhelming, devastating force that his body is smashed into countless unrecognizable pieces.
In any normal combat scenario, the fight is over.
Done. But then, the meat and the bone literally fly backward through the air,
They reverse their trajectory in time.
instantly reconstructing his body so it is perfectly intact.
It's not a healing factor.
It's an undo button.
And you see the exact same horrifying logic applied when Zoro engages.
Zoro is a master swordsman.
He reads the opponent, finds the opening, and lands a flawless, fatal slash.
A blow designed to end a life instantly.
But the wound simply closes.
It doesn't scar.
It doesn't stitch together.
It vanishes, as if the blade never passed through the flesh in the first place.
The event of the damage is erased from the timeline of their bodies.
Think about the psychological toll it takes on a fighter.
Yeah.
You can hear the absolute despair in their reactions.
It's incredibly disheartening.
Sanji, who just activated his hottest, most destructive blue flames, hits Karinga with everything he has.
And Karinga just stands back up.
Completely unfazed. Sanji yells, "What? Is he immortal?" He was completely burned, but stands up like nothing happened.
And then there's Zoro's reaction.
Yeah, Zoro, a man whose entire identity is built around the cutting power of his blades, is left staring at an intact enemy, shouting, "Bastard, what is your body?"
Put yourself in their shoes for a moment. You have mastered your martial arts, your haki, your elemental techniques.
You have maximized your physical output.
And you are suddenly facing an opponent where the foundational rules of physics cause and effect do not apply.
The damage you deal is unhappening.
It creates a complete tactical deadlock. I mean, how do you punch time?
How do you cut a reversal of reality?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the entire battlefield has just experienced a massive paradigm shift.
This is no longer a physical brawl.
No, they aren't fighting mere soldiers or powerful pirates anymore.
They are clashing against entities that possess divine, reality-bending properties.
The rules of engagement have fundamentally changed.
Precisely. Because when you are fighting an opponent who uses a conceptual defense like time cover, you cannot beat them with physical offense.
You need a conceptual offense.
You have to fight reality manipulation with reality manipulation.
And this is where a memory, the teachings of Gabon from the past, becomes the most critical piece of intelligence they possess.
Gabon's teachings regarding Conqueror's Haki, or Haoshoku Haki, hold the key.
He explained that Conqueror's Haki isn't just an aura used to overwhelm someone's willpower.
Or make weaker enemies pass out.
Right. In the context of a battle against divine powers, it functions as an anti-concept.
It is the only force capable of piercing the time cover and physically stopping the reverse regeneration.
To really grasp this, think of time cover like a computer program running a Ctrl-Z undo command on the Holy Knight's bodies every time they take damage.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Conqueror's Haki isn't just swinging a heavier sword or kicking with a hotter flame. It acts as a virus that corrupts that specific undo command.
When an attack is infused with Conqueror's Haki, it acts as a conceptual nullifier.
It doesn't just cut the flesh.
It cuts through the temporal manipulation protecting the flesh.
It forces the damage to remain permanent in the present timeline.
But knowing the theoretical solution and executing it, while a time-manipulating god is trying to kill you, are two very different things.
Completely different.
The atmosphere at the end of this chapter shifts into this terrifyingly quiet do-or-die moment.
The urgency is absolute.
There is no time to retreat.
No time to rethink the strategy.
If Zoro and Sanji cannot instantly awaken and infuse this specific king's quality into their attacks in their very next breath,
they are going to die on that battlefield.
it is the ultimate crucible.
Both of these men possess the latent potential for this level of power, but consciously pulling that Conqueror's Haki up to the surface
Controlling it.
and infusing it into a weapon or a fighting style, that is a tier of mastery they have never fully commanded before.
The way they prepare for this moment is incredibly telling. It shows a profound shift in their combat philosophy.
The specific physical actions they take speak volumes.
In the middle of this chaotic, apocalyptic war zone, Zoro actually sheathes his sword.
He stops attacking.
Sanji completely extinguishes his blue flames.
They both stop relying on the physical tools and standard combat modes that have kept them alive their entire lives.
They both close their eyes, shutting out the external noise,
The swamp monsters,
the giant warriors,
the Holy Knights.
all of it, just to connect entirely with that inner king.
That moment of stillness is profound. It marks a necessary, instantaneous evolution.
They are the right and left arms of the Pirate King.
If they're going to survive what is accurately described as a war of gods, they can no longer fight as mere mortals relying on physical damage.
They have to ascend to a level where their very willpower can dictate the terms of reality.
They have to overwrite the rules of the world before the world overwrites them.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener?
That's the real question.
When we step back from the giant warriors breaking their own bones and the time-manipulating knights erasing their own wounds, the core takeaway from this conflict is incredibly resonant for everyday life.
It really is.
You will eventually face obstacles that seem completely immortal. You will run into problems where no matter how much effort you put in, no matter how hard you work, the obstacle just resets.
The damage heals.
The problem remains.
Yeah.
What Zoro and Sanji realize is that when brute force fails against an impossible wall, You cannot just keep swinging harder.
You have to fundamentally change the concept of your approach.
You have to stop, sheathe your sword, extinguish your usual flames, and tap into your own inner king's quality.
Change the rules of how you are fighting the battle.
Exactly.
This raises an important question, though, specifically regarding the mechanics of this world and the nature of power itself.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
We are told that Conqueror's Hakaki acts as an anti-concept. It can literally negate the manipulation of time and pierce artificial immortality, acting as a virus to an undo command.
Right.
If that is true, what does that imply about the very nature of Hakaki?
It's a huge question.
We've always understood it as a manifestation of extreme, focused willpower.
Right.
But if it can overgrate the laws of physics?
If it can force time to stop rewinding.
Is Hataki simply willpower, or is it actually a localized reality warping force?
Oh.
Does a king's ambition actually change the fabric of reality around them?
That is a staggering thought to leave off on. Is willpower just the trigger for rewriting reality? Keep that question turning over in your mind and think about what it means to change the concept of your own battles when you've hit an impossible wall. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the mechanics and the madness of Chapter 1176.
It's been a blast.
We will be right back here with more analysis next time. Until then, keep digging deeper.